Okay, I think I am good to go. I'm done doing all the little technical stuff. Switch over the other camera. And I got one last thing that I got to do. Not that, that's not what I want to see. Why can't I hear myself twice? That's not what I want to see. Just check that. If I do that, that should appear. And then last thing I gotta do for myself. Okay. Think I'm good with all the setups. Going through and making sure I had everything running fine. I think I'm good. Okay. So, I know last stream I painted my Nord Emissary, but because I am now kind of done dealing with apartment stuff, I'm going back to kit bashing the Space Folk box that I got a while ago. So I'm going to be kit bashing those guys into some of my Dark Angel army and some into my Salamander army. So I'm going through and doing all that. Last time we did that stream, it was, I think, the guys with the shield and axes we got done. This time, I think we're going to move over to the more infantry-based units. So like their Grey Hunters and the other units there. I figured with these guys, they're going to be more acting as the intercessors and all that for this group. And I could probably do an even split between both, depending on how I feel, of either Dark Angel or Salamander. I kind of want to try the... I think Grey Hunter gives me the thought of Dark Angel, so we'll move over to the next one. I gotta go through and just double check. There's gonna be a lot of cutting and cleaning on these guys. You know what I should also check, because my computer does this every single damn time. I should make sure my mic can actually be heard for the music and stuff. No, I'm good. I'm good with that. Okay. Blood Claws was the other one. Okay. No, we're going to stick with the Grey Hunters. I'm thinking that's how we're going to kit bash these into Dark Angel. I also wanted... Oh, I should find the box. I wanted to mix these guys in with a Black Templar set to give it more of that Dark Angel look. So, this is number 16 and through. Just broke that off. I need to find... Bear with me. I need to find number... Panel D. I think I have panel D. And I need to find number 1. Or do I not have panel D? I don't think I have that. No, this is P1. This one. Damn, they make this so confusing to try and find the pieces I need. I'm sure they actually print off a number on what panel it is somewhere. I don't think those are the Grey Hunters. I am going to just kind of start winging it like I should. I'll grab the other box that I need real quick. So, the other box I'm going to be bashing these guys with is the Crusader Squad from the Black Templar. I'm mostly going for the cloth tabards and stuff in this box, and just kind of throwing these parts together. So I might actually have more models running than I realized. So I'm just going to go through and try and see what I can do. And it is going to be a complete disordered mess right now. Should find like a torso, some other bits. You know, no, my luck, they actually made it so that this is going to be a difficult box to kit bash. No idea though. We will find out. I'm going to start cutting bits off and going with that. Well, I hope everyone is having a good week so far. I am having a good week. It was a warm one today. I actually got out. It warmed up near the end, so I got out and I got to relax a little bit by the beach. And that, I've had a good weekend. I was looking forward to the stream. Because after Saturday's stream, I kind of look forward to these. Hi, so what I am doing is I got the Space Wolf box a little bit ago, and I am going through and kit bashing these guys to go into my Dark Angel army and Salamander army. I'm going to be kit bashing them with the Primaris Crusader Squad from Black Templars, and I have a couple upgrade sprues as well from Dark Angels and the Salamanders as well. So I can't really figure out exactly with the Space Wolf box like what model it is, but since I'm going to be kit bashing anyways, I'm just going to start cutting bits off and building a model from there. So I hope that answers the question. We're going to try my best at doing this because I've never kit bashed before, and this could turn to be a complete disaster. But I'm mostly using the Primaris or the Crusader Squad for their like cloth they have and all that. So I'm just trying to figure out. That'll fit. I might steal a leg from another one, but I don't know. I'm just going through and kind of going to clean things up. And definitely taking off anything that is the wolf iconography. Not that I wouldn't play Space Wolves, they are a chapter I want to play at some point. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading Lorenzo, I'm assuming so it's pronounced. Yeah, I'm sure if I had like intercessors and stuff, it'd be a lot easier to kit bash, not a like dedicated box or chapter. But I'm just going to give it the chance and see how it goes. If I have to cut bits off and upgrade things here and there, I'll just go with it. So, we'll see how it goes. With that being said, I'm like half tempted to cut off the bottom and use the legs from the Primaris or from the Crusader Squad, but I don't know. I'm like a little nervous too at the same time. You know what I also forgot to grab? I forgot to grab my... There it is. Gotta grab this. I'll just glue these two together. I clean up that chest a little bit more. But I hope everyone's having a good day so far. Like I said earlier, I am having a good day. Oh, I think I'll like it no matter how it turns out, because I won't get any better if I don't, try at least. like with the kit bashing and all that. So we'll see how it turns out. The worst thing I do if I have to, I have green stuff. I can make like some green stuff parts to put on these guys and go from there. Which one I cut from? I cut from this guy. I'm very... I might just build this off the base on how he is normally. It's probably gonna happen. So I'm gonna cut off a bunch of pieces and not realize where it went. Now I need his leg. I don't know which one his leg is. I'm not finding him in the book. I'm gonna win this. Am I being blind? I might be blind. There's one other. Did they literally spread across two separate things? I'm gonna try this one. We'll see how this one goes. Yeah, I think that'll work. That'll work temporarily. Okay. I just randomly found a leg that worked. I have no idea if it will or not, though. Even at the very least, if I just like switch out the arms and stuff with these guys, that might work the best. So I feel. Like I say, I've been re-listening to some of the Dark Angel books and all that. I started re-listening to the Cypher book, I really should say, and it's got me more in that Dark Angel mood right now. All secretive and night affected feel. Yeah. Why do they always do the tactical rock? Every single model, they just want to do a tactical rock. I'm not always going to stand on a rock in combat. I should make a proper thumbnail for when I do the Kit Bash Corner stuff. Okay. Now, I want to steal one of these bits. I've never looked at the Crusader Squad before. Are they just like mixed with... I know they're neophytes or scouts with the, what's the word? With the Space Marines. So maybe more of... Bear with me, I am searching through. Damn, I do have it grouped in one spot. Let's go try taking some of the front greave parts. I'll do it with this guy. This one's got a little bit of damage on it. I do apologize for the quality of stream went down. I got roommates and they're using all the Wi-Fi while I'm trying to do this. I'm assuming it'll be fine though. I'm probably just over worrying for no reason. So, could I fit that in there? Yeah, I can fit that one on there. That thing's run away. Or I can put them. Can't do that one. But we'll do this one. I think it'll work on that one just fine. Space if I just figure out what I can throw in. One's going into the something. So I'll steal this one's. And go from there. That's kind of interesting. Huh. They don't have the circle that they normally have a bunch of these. That's new. That's not the right type of foot piece. God damn it. Let me find the one I took it from before. This one, that one. Probably this one over here. Probably this piece. Okay. Let's see if this one works. Okay. Please try fit on correctly for me. No, you don't have your circle on your foot. That's another dud. Okay. I need to find one that has a circle on its side. This one. This is probably the one that I'm going to cut all them off by the time I'm leaving. Before I can find the right one. Yes, yes, that one works. A little bit of battle damage. That'll work. Just have a slice on the... Is this the greaves? I don't know what this part of the armor's called. Is this called a greave? I'd call it the shin guard, if anything. Right there, and then to take this file and kind of up a little bit. There. Okay. I hope to get more than just 3 models done last time. No. Just came off. Huh. Interesting. Stay glued. Got those 2 right there. I'll take this one. I might pull out some green stuff in a moment and give that little bit extra I was looking for. Because I don't know how well I can kit bash the 2 boxes together. So, my goal with kid bashing these guys is to give me something that's got that, I don't know, nighty aesthetic, not just that common spatial frame that's normally in this box. Not that every model is gonna need cloth or something like that, but I just want to do something unique and different. Maybe the Crusader Squad was not the best box, but I would definitely be stealing the Space Marine bits out of the box. Do that one. And then I will say, for the Crusader Black Templar box, I think that's some of the worst heads I've ever seen. At least it's mostly because of the haircut. It's such a bad haircut. Could put no, I'm gonna make him wielding it. I don't think they have any empty scabbards on these guys. Definitely want to make this good. What else have I been up to? I hope, at least for the for the people in the US, I hope everyone's gonna have a good 4th of July this Friday. I got some good plans going on for myself. Gonna hang out with some friends, do a good barbecue. What else? I'm gonna start doing some actual craft stuff, not just Warhammer models on the channel. Because now that I got so at some point this week I'm moving over my blacksmithing stuff over to my buddy's garage, so I can start doing that and working on that Inquisitor cosplay that I talked about a few times here. I am looking forward to doing that. I have some of the pieces here and there to actually start putting together. I have the base layer. I now have the pants, I have the shirt, I have the vest, I got the long jacket. Definitely I think the next big thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Inquisitor Rosette. I have the bits and the idea for that. That will be a fun build for me to do. I also want to make a couple purity seals. I have some paper I found around, and I got these rubber stamps that I'm going to try carving into either a skull or some other shapes. I don't really have many of these stamps. I have 2 just circle rubber ones. So I want to see if I can make something look good. I need the other side of the arm. of chainsaws to begin with, but right. Do they number the arms to let you know, hey, this is supposed to go with this guy? That's odd. That's also a very weird shape for that arm to be in. We're not gonna use that arm. That arm's like that. That one's kind of down low. That might work. What are they supposed to be holding? Would that and the gun holster one work together? Set that there, and I want... That's the one I was looking for. How big are they? I believe Space Marines are like 8 feet tall or 3 meters, which I think would make it 9 feet tall. Primaris might be pushing more than 9 feet. Regular Space Marines, I think, are the 8 feet. Oh, mini size. Are you trying to print some? Okay. I don't have my ruler on hand. If I had to guesstimate, these guys are over... I think in total they're under 2 inches. I think they are under 2 inches is roughly the size. But I think they have a lot of they have a lot of 3D printable STLs that you can copy, and I think they're already pre-sized. I don't know though, because I don't have a 3D printer. You know, I'd probably save myself money having one. So I don't know. So would this and that work together? Yeah, would kind of work together, but that sits like that on the bottom, so I can't really use that. Yeah, fair enough. I got into Warhammer like less than a year ago myself, and don't fully know the size of everything and all that. I am trying to find the right arm. I'm not going off the book. So for those that are new here, or maybe kind of curious, I bought the Space Wolf box that came out a little while ago, and I am splitting the models in between my Dark Angel army and my Salamander army. So I'm just kind of going through and deciding what's going to go with what. I'm trying to kit bash this also with the Primaris Crusader Squad. I didn't realize that the Crusader Squad, I thought they'd all be more Space Marine models, like model-wise, but they have the Neophytes, I think is what they are. Kind of like I almost think they're the Scouts normally. But they threw it in with, well, they work with Black Templars, the Neophytes do, with experienced Space Marines to actually do some work and all that. So I'm just trying to go through and find different arms and things that would work. I have no idea. I have the book, but I don't want to use the book. I might just use this deck on. But yeah, going back a bit, I think 3D printing is definitely a better way of getting into the Warhammer. It's a better way of getting in the Warhammer. It's cheaper in the long run, and I think a lot of the models are a lot more unique from what I've seen. At least you can do more unique things with them. But I also I don't mind buying models from GW. I can go through and try to do whatever I want with them, so that's how I feel about it. But people do what they want. Okay, did this work? Yeah, this one will work. We'll go with this arm. He's stepping on the rock, not ready to shoot yet, but he's getting ready to shoot. That's how I look at it. Fair enough. Yeah, it is a very expensive hobby in the long run, like getting into it. I don't know of any websites that have STLs. Usually, at least for myself, I would go on like Etsy or something like that. And use that. That's a very tiny wolf skull on the front that I'm just going to snip off. Could do a bit more damage to the model. I'm actually going to take this file. I'll try and... There we go. I think I damaged the lens a little bit. That's not what I wanted to do, but oh well. I want to make it seem like that he got scraped just a little bit. I don't normally do battle damage to my models. This is like the first time I'm actually going through and purposely doing it to the models. I do need to add pauldrons as well, because his arms are looking a little bit skinnier right now. Okay, that was unintentional, but I kind of like that angle. I think that just kind of fell perfectly to be its own angle. So we're going to leave that where it is, and then we're going to find some pauldrons and throw those on. Ooh, do I want to do any of the Black Templar pauldrons? I would have to cut and eventually do my own thing with them. I don't think so. I think we're going to stick with Space with pauldrons for now. They got a lot of unique ones here and there, so... Do that, and then I'm also this to be a Dark Angel guy. Because I'm running... I'm going to make them look like... I also have the Black Temper upgrade sprue, and that's got some good stuff on it too. Okay. Ideas are flowing through the head. And find what I need and want. I'm excited. The model I'm most excited for to put together and build is their chaplain. I have an idea that I want to do, and I'm making the chaplain be for my salamanders. Because of that idea. Now, where did that? Okay, I had a Dark Angel upgrade sprue. I don't know where it went. So I'll just have to do another one randomly. We're gonna keep that on the side. Ah, speaking of the devil, there's my upgrade sprue with the Dark Angels on it. I'm gonna cut one of these off. We'll use that. Do I want to use anything else? Not yet, because I only have the one. I don't want to use all of them up yet. That one, and we'll clean up this one real quick. I think in the end, if I want to do some green stuff, I'll just do it when all the models are kind of built. So that way I can do it all in one go and not just make a big batch of green stuff and then waste it. I am tempted to continue painting because I do want to do that North Emissary some more, but I just cleaned all my brushes and they're not ready to be used yet. Okay. I know all the Pokemons are kind of weird now. But, oh, he just did a little flip. That's one guy. Done. I'm gonna go through and do some more. Oof, cracking my knuckles here. That is not the one I'm looking for. I'm gonna set this under. It's these guys. I'm gonna set this one over there. Is he supposed to have anything in front of his? No. Some of these other ones might, though. And so I think this might be the leg. Bunch of chess pieces. go through and clean all of these up. Is that one supposed to fit there? No, it's supposed to be a notch that actually sticks out. Awesome. So now those. It's that. That's the leg I'm looking for. Okay. That is supposed to say where it is. Is that supposed to insert into a rock? Awesome. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to do, right? I forgot about the little side bits that are supposed to be on these guys. Right? Or I think I have a different style model. Here's a different model that's supposed to have little side pieces. Nope, that one doesn't fit together. I fear it's this one. I fear this is the piece I'm supposed to be using. I'll have to do so much cleanup on that. What? Is this the one that's supposed to fit? No, you don't fit either. Is the one with the wolf skull? How about the one with just the wolf skull? No, not that one either. Wow, I'm gonna cut every single one of these out. Drop the damn thing. Now, does this one fit in? Yes. Okay. Those two fit together. Might cut. Can't really take a lot out of that one. Can I make it look like a human skull? I don't know. That'd be kind of tough. Possibly, though. Possibly. don't really feel like kit bashing is not the thing to do tonight, but since I've already decided this is what I'm doing, I'm sticking with it. Ah, they did. They marked every single model in here with like an A or a different number, so you know it's like, this is supposed to go with this piece. Yeah, A is supposed to go with A. Awesome. I love when that happens. No, I don't. Oh, and these two don't even fit together. It needs to be a different leg. Is it one of the other legs I pulled up earlier? It's supposed to be this one? No, not that one. Put those to the side. Not on this one. I don't have any legs that seem to fit for that one. Was this steal from like another damn thing? It's kind of annoying. I don't know if I even have enough brushes to do the other model tonight. I might switch because I'm having a little bit of frustration with this to something different. This might not be as easy of a kit bash as I thought it would turn out to be. Which one has this all been? A? They've literally simplified putting these pieces together. I kind of find that frustrating. Like, why did they simplify it? How's it going, Jake? I am happy Canada Day. I'm glad you are enjoying your festive holiday. I know ours here is this Friday, so we'll see how that turns out. I don't think these have any of the bits that I need. So now you're talking about poutine, you gotta be kind of craving poutine. I am kind of craving some. I'm also getting a little frustrated with what I'm currently working on because I can't seem to find bits or pieces that might work for it. I'm trying to kit bash the Space Wolf box I got with the Crusade one, but because I'm not using the book right now, the bits are all also marked with like an A, B, C, or D. And I might have used a leg I was supposed to for the first guy on this model, so I might have to be like switching around some bits. Unless magically I get one of these to fit. I feel like that one might fit. It looks so weird too, though. Why would that one? I will happily listen to it. I feel like if I switch anything, it's going to be doing that. It's probably going to be doing this guy tonight if I switch anything. But I will happily listen to your drunken rambles about your Chaos Marines. Other than that, I don't know. I'll make this work. I'll make something work for these models. I think GW is moving in a direction to stop people from making whatever they want with their models. I'm not kind of a fan if they are doing that. That is, it's kind of cool because I enjoy this model for just building, you know, whatever I want. Or I enjoy this hobby to be able to build whatever I want. Those legs don't seem to fit together at all doing that way. Is there any other legs? Did I actually take the wrong leg? No, because it kind of fits together well enough. No, we'll continue on. If I find the leg, I find the leg later. We'll continue on from there and do the other parts. Make this one look together. No, can't make those two work together. This one's for the other leg. Yeah. Okay. That's some interesting lore. Reading off Jake's lore. I'm sure you all can see it there. I'm also going to be switching up what I'm doing. I'm getting fresh over these Space Wolf blocks. I will do it on my own at a different point. But, so he says, right, so, Demonic Ocean World. Yeah, I'm calling it Scortada? I'm not sure, I probably butchered that. For right now. The Hollowed Watch found it while I was watering the Great Rift. And I like that. That's some good lore there. So I'm going to pack this up and probably change name of stream and stuff live while I go through. And we're going to just go back to painting. So, reading off again what Jake said. There they found the remains of a Tyranid hive tendril being consumed and gored upon by demons. The Tyranid corpses being resurrected. Ooh, that is interesting. I like that. That is some good lore. I mean, can a Tyranid corpse be resurrected? That's my question. Can they be resurrected? I'm also going to quickly switch. So I'm going from kit bashing, I'm going to go back to painting because how I was going about it wasn't working right. I will have to go upon and figure out myself. But I am going to pull out what I'll need. I think I do have another basing or monster brush, so I can do that for now. Okay, I have just enough extra brushes to do what I want to do. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit this live currently. That, change that, bam. Save that. Yeah. Okay. So, reading off some more lore that Jake has said, now that I got everything kind of switched around. I don't know. Either way, they're there now. Anyways, shenanigans ensue, battle is hard. The current leader of the reanimates of the chapter slayed the possessed Tyranid. Or Nice, I like that. I like that lore fully. I like sitting down and creating lore for my Space Marines and models as well. I don't get to do that enough. With that being said, I don't have my wet palette. I'm gonna have to literally put that together like right freaking now. So bear with me. I bought myself the wet palette from the Army Painter and I've not even opened it yet because I was waiting for some time. So, putting away the kit bashing because I got too frustrated with the Space Wolf thing. Could I work through it? Yes, but I'm going to be painting my Norn Emissary instead tonight. I think that would be much easier and I kind of need something just chill. So go through that. I gotta set this up real quick. But I hope everyone's having a good night. I've had a good day so far. It was hot. I got to go after work swim in the lake for a little bit and enjoy the cool weather and just kind of appreciate where I live for the time being. I'm trying to think what else I got up to. What else is in this? Okay, that's in our pack. I'm going to set that there for now. I like this. I haven't opened this yet. It's brand new. Ooh. This is nice. Kind of feeling a little bit professional. No longer using the Tupperware. No longer using the Tupperware. We're actually going to be using some proper stuff. So, 200 foam. That's what this is, and 50 sheets. Jake, then... Oh, this then causes his weapons to be possessed. But because he's built different, he manages to form a sort of symbiotic relationship with his new possessed weapon. Okay. I mean, he is a Space Marine, so they are built different. That is... So fair enough. But, I do have a question. Is his weapon slowly going to possess him over time? Will he fall further into demonic influence? Or will he be fighting against it for as long as he can? It'd be kind of cool, like, I could see a possessed model being turned into something like that. Oh, you'll get there, don't worry. Jake also says, as they explore the world, they become more and more chaos corrupted as they are focused to eat the warp-tainted Tyranid bodies to survive. Ooh. Okay, okay. Okay, I got some water right here, so I'll put that in my little foam pad. There with the chat. Doing some last minute switcheroo. Like I said earlier, I was trying to work on my Space Wolf box and make that Dark Angels and Salamanders, but GW kind of messed around with the models and made me frustrated. They made it so that you have to, like, put the pieces together for it, and that just annoyed me. So, it's like, oh no, no, don't pull up. I think I had that the right way. Did I put that the right way? Is there a wax side and non-wax side, or is it just the same? It's the same. It's my first time using this wet palette, so we'll see how Army Painter does. Excuse me. I don't have a water. Oh, there's too much water. I'll deal with it. I will deal with too much water. Okay. So I'm hitting this model now with Deep Ocean Blue. And I want to have these much more darker spots next to the carapace and where the shadow is. I did hit this whole model before in contrast paint, but I do want a little bit more transition, because I can see here there's a lot more of a there's like a lot of white spots, and I want to hit some regular paint on here as well with it, so it is warm in this room today. I don't know if I have a good actual transition paint. Maybe I do. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. But hello and welcome everyone. I hope you guys are having a good evening. I just started painting this guy because I had to switch up from what I was doing. I'm gonna rant a little bit. If GW was switching, like, okay. So, I tried to work on that Space Wolf box, like I said before. I'm gonna keep ranting about it because I'm a little bit upset by it. It feels like GW is making it so that players can't customize their models, and that's frustrating because I like being able to, do whatever I want with the models I get. Okay, so what do you say there, Jake? Eventually, they do. Oh, eventually they realize no one is coming for them, and their numbers are dwindled by the strange sea creatures and limited landmass and supplies. Through a mixture of desperation, they give in. Okay. I feel like that happens to anyone that's kind of stranded on their own. It's very hard to keep hope in, like, a desperate situation, anyway. Good evening, Hannibal. Good to see you again. You kind of missed it. I was working on some kit bashing stuff earlier, and I got frustrated at GW. And if you don't know what kit bashing is, it just means taking like 2 boxes of models and stuff and just kind of combining them. And I got one guy built, but because I'm not going off the book or anything, I kept cutting a bunch of pieces and not following along, and GW made it so that I had to put the exact pieces with the exact model. So I decided to change from doing a kit bash night to a painting night. So currently I'm trying to darken up some more shadow spots with some different paint. And Jake here is rambling about his custom Chaos Marines. Yeah. I mean, I could go back to it again, but, like, I got frustrated. I didn't realize you've been here for 3 streams. That's good to see. I am getting some return people and all that. I hope people are enjoying also the new upgrade. I finally figured out how to put chat on stream. So I don't have to always read chat. Okay, Jake says their armor is stained blue. Oh, hold on. Okay. Jake says their armor is stained blue by the weird blood of the sea creatures and have many mutations, and they have begun to go beyond insane as they are imposed to the raw warp material. Oof. I don't think being... God, okay, I'm trying to get my thoughts together correctly here, so bear with me. I've heard how it is actually affected by like the raw warp, and it's not good. There's a reason why only like the navigators can see it or can look into it, kind of, like a little bit. Oh, excuse me. I might go back to kit bashing. I don't know. I think I'll like mess around with the models off stream, get all the bases put together, and then I will do a stream with everything kind of together. Okay, Jake also says eventually they began colluding with demons that are possessing their weapons and some of their brothers to learn how to survive the warp. They make deals, so began warpishing. Wow, that was a stutter. For anyone jumping in kind of curious what Jake's talking about, he's talking about his custom Chaos Marines that he has talked about a few times here. And he is rambling to me about his lore, and I'm reading it off. The Imperium, their Primarch, and the Emperor is forgotten as the one who abandoned them and never came. Ooh. Fair enough. That's honestly that's a realistic way of falling into the warp. It's a very insidious thing, and it sounds similar to not to throw Christianity into this, but it sounds like when Jesus was walking through the desert and was being tempted by the devil. That sounds very similar to what happened. I'm not religious or anything, but it's just something that is oh, that's similar. Okay. Such a different blue compared to what I had, but once it dries, it actually kind of works out. Desperate for the unfitting purpose, they now watch over the world that damned them, hollowed versions of their former selves. It's a good bit of lore. That's some. I like that lore because it seems realistic enough on how anyone can fall to chaos. It's a very slow and insidious thing. It's a little bit similar to I haven't read the Horus Heresy. From the little bit that I do know, it's similar to maybe how Horus felt, where he felt he was going to be forgotten and abandoned. But again, I haven't read the books at all, so I don't know how he actually felt. I know there's a lot more lore to it than I realized. I'm also going to get that here. So I'm curious, Jake, what is Canada Day? Is that their Independence Day? Or therefore is Canada Day the day that you guys celebrate when you became your own nation and not ruled by the British anymore? Okay, I'll read off his other message. Anyway, now they make raids into real space, kidnapping slaves. Okay. So, he answered my question. Yes, July 1st is their version of 4th of July. Go back to what he was saying for the lore. They now make raids into real space, kidnapping slaves, and implanting their corrupted gene seed into children of those slaves who survive long enough. I always forget how dark it kind of get. That doesn't sound like a bad idea unless you had neighbors knocking on your door. Honestly, okay, so I think Beethoven is German, or he was Austrian. I don't know. Please feel free to correct me. But wasn't he also intoxicated on something in general? When he made a lot of his music? At least that's what I'm thinking out for Beethoven. Who knows, Hannibal? You could be the next Beethoven. I will say, I like sitting and making lore for my characters. I'm trying to think, It was Beethoven! Oh, you're trying to... Okay. I like being creative as well. I don't get the... I like making stories, but I'm terrible at writing. I will say, like, for my own Space Marines... What's up, Ben? It's not a Hive Tyrant. This is the Norm Emissary. It's the big brain bug that's supposed to kill the characters. I wish I could run this as a Hive Tyrant. I would love to run this guy as a Hive Tyrant. When I bought this model, I want him to be my warlord for my army, but no, he can't be the warlord. He's supposed to be a by himself unit. By the way, Ben or Afro, I'm in the Discord call if you want to join in. Yeah, Afro is one of my real life friends and has been on the channel here before. So I am throwing the invite out there for him to join if he so chooses. But damn, I wish I had Toomey right now. I kind of want to work on the Space Wolf still, but also paint at the same time. I'm not working on the Space Wolves, working on the Space Wolf box. I am trying right now. To add. I'm using Deep Ocean Blue from Mario Painter, and I'm trying to make that be my more shadowed areas. Oh. Hello? Did you actually join?
Yo, what's up?
What's up? I don't have your little guy on this screen. It's only for the gaming, but I can put it up real quick. Well, maybe I can.
Alright. I'm just dropping by, say hi.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you stopped in. I'm glad you did. I was streaming earlier. I'm not sure if you've seen this yet or not before. I was kit bashing. So I bought a Space Wolf box before. Like they made a big one that came out with all the models and stuff.
Yeah.
And
was it that Kill Team box you were talking about?
No, not the Kill Team one. Yeah, I can definitely make the music a little lower. Is my volume dropped now that Ben has joined? That is my question too. I can do that. No, anyway, I'm just like, I'm frustrated at the box because I got one guy done, as I'll throw up on stream, and he looks pretty good. And that was like not following the box at all. That was just going with whatever. But then I tried to make the second guy, and I can't find his fucking leg. I'll up my volume as well. I'll put myself at like 96. That might be better. No, show me. Why is it not showing me stream? There it is.
I like the colors on it. Even if it is a high.
I think I'm going to go with this, although I did go to an anime convention this weekend, and I got some stuff. As you saw, Ben, I got those Monster Hunter figures. So, I can take a second and show chat what I got. I didn't buy a lot of stuff. It was good. I should have gone Saturday or another day because it closed at 4 and I didn't get down there till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it closed at 4 p.m. and all that. So I just went and I shopped around. One thing I got that I'm very happy with. So as I've said before on the channel, I play a rogue fighter in my D&D game with friends. So I got this. This is from a tea company. I got this thermos that says rogue on it, and then they had me roll a d20 for a discount. And I got a natural 20. So I got to pick out a...
Did you get it for free?
I didn't get this for free, but I got a pin for free. Let me set this aside, and I'll grab my backpack real quick that has all my pins on it that I got. Sorry, I am using my thermos now. Currently, it is full of mint and lemon tea. I wanted to be an iced tea, but it wasn't. I didn't put enough ice in it. So the other stuff that I got, I don't have pictures of it, but I'll talk about it last. I did get a gift for a friend. Okay, I'm currently back. Sorry. So I can't take the pins off because I put them on my bag. But if you guys can see, I got that pin for free. It says Fighter. So I have a Rogue Fighter. I have a Rogue tea thermos, and I have a Fighter pin. I also bought some tea that came from the company. The name of the company is... I'll have to grab the box, but the thermos says DT. They make a bunch of different blends. I got their cottage blend. I also got these pins. I have a American alligator, and I forget what these two are, but this is like a crocodile skink, I think, is this one, and this is a type of newt. I didn't intend to get all gray looking pins, but I have them. And then I got this dragon pin, if anyone can see. And I got it because I thought it looked cool, but as I looked at it more, I didn't realize it was a Venus flytrap, which I thought was pretty cool. And I like this color scheme that I kind of want to make my Tyrannus look like it. I'm like, fuck! I painted everything. Sorry for my language, but the other thing I got from the people that did the lizard pins, see if I can find it, if I put it in this one, or if I put it in a different plane. I think I put it in a different spot, in a different part of my bag. Oh, perfect. Okay, I found it. So, I have a red-eye crocodile skink. That was one of them. Northern crested newt was one of them, and then the American alligator. So they all came with like little informational pins, which I thought was nice. And let's see if I can find it in my bag of bags. I also bought myself some books from the Warhammer store while I was down there, because of course I had to go to the Warhammer store. So I got myself some new books to read. Oh, Hannibal.
Yeah.
I also have a magic deck that's in German. I cannot read it, but this was the other thing. I got myself a Spinosaurus, it's patch. I got myself a Spinosaurus patch as well. Because I am a dino nerd through and through. But yeah, for books I got the first book that's going to be from the Sigmar, Age of Sigmar line that I'll read. I got myself Dark Imperium to read. And I also grabbed this is a Kevin Skate book that I already had. The other things that I got for myself is they had some Monster Hunter figure boxes that you could pick and get a random one. I looked through it, or I looked at the options. I'm like, oh, I know exactly which one I want to get. And it was a like winged dragon. It's supposed to look like a dragonfly, I think. And then I saw the other one was like this golden wyvern one. So I picked the two. I got both of the ones that I wanted. And I had it set up so they look like they're fighting. I have for myself personally like a Glavenus model and some other stuff. The other thing that I got, and I got this for a friend, is I have a friend that has like the one ring in his magic deck. Sorry, I just started kind of going off about it. I can change subject. So, but no, I got like the one ring for a friend. And then I also got... There was a person there who takes extra magic cards and she'll paint them. And she painted this one to be a Catgirl maid on it. So I got it from my friend that has a I can't remember the name, but he plays a proxy like Wolf Girl in a Magic deck, and I'm like, this Cat Girl card is perfect for this friend, and he loved the painted card that he put it in his Magic deck. So he likes using it. God, I'm seeing it like in the background, like I'm seeing stream delayed, and I just saw like when I set the books down, it just juddered the camera. So, I'm excited. It's something that if I'm going to go to, I have to go to it, like, as a day, all that stuff. Nothing there gave me inspiration, but I did see some other interesting cosplays. I'd say the weirdest thing I saw was a couple furries, but honestly, nothing against people that dress up as furries. It's just like, you have the confidence to pull that. Good for you. I give no shame for people that want to do that. But as I was saying earlier in stream, I now have the full base outfit stuff set. And I think Wednesday, so being tomorrow, I'm going to go to my buddy's garage and start filming and working on other little bits for the cosplay. So I found my overcoat. I found a pair of like navy pants that are kind of cotton that I will use for the pants, and then I found some like fingerless gloves for the Inquisitor cosplay that I will be working on. While I'm in the workshop, I'm going to be making a Inquisitor rosette, which that's just their badge of office, is what it is. So I have a way I'm going to do that, and then eventually I'll do the power sword, stuff like that. I was talking with a friend about the channel, and he was like, hey, careful if you do like if you deviate too much from what you do on the channel, because, you know, you're building a niche and stuff. But I'm like, I have in my description that I want to do things like this to begin with. I'm doing Warhammer just as, like, for me, a way of starting to get into it. It's evolved more into making and uploading Warhammer, but I am, so the cosplay is going to be one way of, like, me getting into that directly. Other than that, I think I found a piece of steel to use for the sword that I'll make for the Inquisitor, which will be nice.
Yeah.
And then, Ben, you were working on your Terminators for your Black Legion, which that could be another thing I could be painting. Is I could be painting your Black Legion models, not just this guy.
Yeah, it depends. People wanna see other things instead.
Well, I did this model because, like, I don't know if I told you this or not, but Chad does kind of know. My landlords are selling my apartment, and I couldn't be here Monday, which is why we didn't do Cone on Monday. And so on Saturday, I just pulled a bottle that I had primed and painted. Completely forgot about the Chaos ones. I just did this Tyranid, just like, okay, that will be quick and easy. I can do that. And then here we are now. So, but I have been getting a lot more, going back to the cosplay stuff. I've been getting a lot of, like, cosplay stuff in my short feed and all that. So that's been one thing of, like, seeing other people make their own cosplays and models and stuff, and I don't have to make it super inter-chick as well. I can make kind of whatever. It was going to be a commissar, but I didn't like any of the hats I was finding. So it turned into a Inquisitor. No, I didn't check in with Kyle to see if like he replied to my Dark Tide message or not.
I think yeah, that's what was wrong.
Yeah, and then I replied saying,
He said maybe it needs to be reinstalled.
"Oh yeah, he did say that, and I haven't done that yet. I can try and do that."
It's like the new class a bit.
Yeah, how does it play?
It's pretty fun. The dog is pretty useful. And just send them to attack
I've
like
heard
snipers.
some people like they put skills only into the dog in Dark Tide, and then make it so that you just shield everything, and then the dog just rips through everybody.
I gotta try that build.
I mean, can you change the stats later on in like Dark Tide? Or
It's
like
mostly randomized,
okay.
like on weapons.
I didn't know if there was like set skills and stuff that you could do or use. Like how it's in Vermintide, how we can select like skills that we want to have.
Oh yeah. They've got a build tree. But
Okay. Okay. I was thinking more today about another kill team I want to make, and that's the Tyranid one. I know now the new Tyranid box is up, but ooh, what's my favorite 40k army? That I talked about that last stream, and that's kind of a difficult question for me. I think I listed. So I have 4 armies right now. I have Custodians, Space Marines, Guard, and Tyranids. And I also have, for Age of Sigmar, I have the Lizardmen. I think I'm putting. Yeah, the bugs sit at number 3. I think for me is number 3. Number 2 is the Guard. Space Marines and Custodians fight for number 1. Because I can't decide which one I like more. And in like 5th or 4th place sits the Lizardmen from Age of Sigmar. That is what currently I have listed as all my favorite armies. But it's tough, because I mean I started with Space Marines, and I love my Space Marines, but I also love my color scheme for my Custodes, and I love the Custody models. The Lizardmen are so nice. I love their models. I know they came out with a new Spearhead box. I have the original one where it's the big like Tyrannosaurus dinosaur. And I know their new one comes with more models with it, but I don't think it's the same amount of like oomph, if that makes sense. Like they don't really hit as hard as I think they would in the first one. I haven't built the box either of my current guys. I've been sitting on it for far too long. Same with my Tyranids. I haven't built all my Tyranids. I haven't even built a single Guardsman model. That's what I was saying. And I have far more Space Marine models that I could be doing. So I might be switching back and forth between this and trying to work on some Space Marine models, not paint-wise, but build-wise. Because I want to keep doing that kit bashing thing. I just got frustrated with it for a little bit. But I will say, the Bugs have some very good models. I love the Tyranid models. Very similar to, like, the Lizardmen. And that's completely fine that you only have a Bug army. I just realized that you said you had only Bugs. I spent way too much on Warhammer, and now I've curtailed it with how much I've spent. I'm trying to get Ben here into Warhammer a little bit more. There's one model I want to see you get, and just to round off like a 500 point army, and that's just Abaddon.
Yeah.
We'll get you Abaddon. You'll be set up.
It's destiny.
It's destiny. Oh, so you haven't been here for a bit. So what I've decided is, instead of making all my Marines be one chapter, I'm going to split it to 2 chapters, and they'll work together. So I'll be doing Dark Angels and Salamanders. Those are the 2 that I'm going for. Paying a lot of bugs for bugs. Yeah, I guess. The Bug army can be very expensive because it's a Horde army. Anyway, I did cut off. What were you saying, Ben?
Huh?
I thought you were trying to reply to something and then I cut you off.
What you said? Oh. I'm just scrolling the other map. Well, I might.
You're cutting in and out a little bit. Just get this to fade. Jeez. Okay. This guy is coming really good. Ooh, okay. What's my... Do you just want one model, or do you want one from each of my armies? Because I have a favorite model from each of my armies. And I think I'll do from, like... I'll kind of wait for your response, but I think I'll do from each of my armies as a answer. I would... Okay. Because I'm working on it, I'll start with Tyranids. I like the Hormagaunts. The little runner guys with the like just melee blade guys. I think I like them the most out of all my Tyranids. But this guy's a very close second. The Norm Emissary here is a very close second. Really, any bug that's like more melee focused, not the warriors, like a big bug and all that Hive Tyrants close, but Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts to begin with. From there, we'll move over to Custodes, and I like the Custodes. Yeah, no, I realize my friend is cutting in and out, and I've said that a few times. It could be his connection. The big brain bugs are good. For Custodes, it's the Terminator armors. I forget what it is. I don't remember their name, but they're my favorite for Custodes. For Space Marines, it's another three-way tie, but I think it gets beat out by the Blade Guard Veterans. The Blade Guard Vets are my favorite Space Marine model. I like the Knight aesthetic with the sword and shield. And for the Guard, I love the Baneblade. The Baneblade is my favorite model out of the entire Guard range. It's not the first Guard model I got, but it was definitely the like big model I wanted to buy for that army. And I bought it. I don't have it built. At some point I will have it built, but yeah. Yeah, so I guess Starship Trooper is a very good way to describe the Tyranids. Tyranids are a hive mind, just like the bugs in Starship Trooper. And they're all control. There's certain bugs called Simnat creatures. What I have here in my hand is a bug that is considered a Simnat creature, and it's like one that can give orders and works on controlling them. There's a few big brain bug models. Excuse me, for Tyranids. So I don't know which one specifically Nicholas is talking about. Yes, that one. That is a good one.
Yeah, I guess the only difference is in 40K the brain bugs are actually dangerous.
Yes, wow.
Like the Reapers, they're just kind of worms.
You just cut back in perfectly. You've been like cutting in and out this whole time, and you just pop back in.
Yeah, my computer's running wild.
Okay.
It's pretty intensive, so I shouldn't be talking.
Nah, you're fine. Yeah, I want to make a custom. I know the Tyranids just came out with a kill team, and I have that box. But I want to make a custom one using the Neural Lictor, Death Leapers, a normal Lictor. My biggest army is my Space Marine army because I'm over 200 models in that army. That's 200 models built. I have more in boxes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of work to do.
I do, and I do end up saving a lot of it for streams or videos when I really shouldn't. But I also enjoy sitting here painting and just chatting with everybody. I don't care if everything gets built and finished. If I had to guesstimate point-wise, maybe 3,000, maybe 5,000 points in total. I bought a 2,000 point army when I started, and then I bought more models from there. Yeah, I will admit I have a problem. So I have a problem when it comes to GEW and me buying minis. I haven't bought any since the new Kill Team box, and that's really the only box that I'm going to be buying for a while. I'm not interested in any other boxes that have come out or really making any more. That's a good number to have. Honestly, like 1,300 is a good number. You can do a Crusade army with some friends doing that, which I want to do a Crusade army at some point with my friends. Ben here being one of them and a couple others. We wanted to start with like one box of minis and then build our army over time that way. We have to all get together and actually like paint and build everything. And trying to schedule with those guys is difficult. I mean, I can schedule with you relatively easy, Ben. I just haven't had the time quite yet. but if I was to tell anyone to get into Warhammer, I would tell them to start with Kill Team, because it's relatively cheap to like get into Warhammer that way. I'm just picking spots to add this darker color in. And I could be using a smaller brush for this, but it's kind of... This brush is working out fine. Anybody here got some big plans for 4th of July? Do you got any big plans, Ben?
No, not really. I'm gonna finally eat Zoshia.
You're gonna eat Zoshia, or you mean beat?
No, beat.
Beat.
The high rank version.
Okay.
I gotta upgrade my armor, but it's got a couple moves that just get me.
I'm going to reply to Nicholas real quick. He said, my friend is buying the Necron Combat Patrol. That's a good Combat Patrol. From what I've seen, that's a relatively good one point-wise, and I think for models that you can get. I'm kind of not a fan of all of GW's Combat Patrols, at least for Space Marines. They're moving away from like giving Space Marines the big vehicle models, and they're also doing this with I think the Chaos ones as well, and just doing like the units fighting each other, which yeah, my friend is playing Monster Hunter. Oh yeah, I haven't played World yet, but I need to. Before...
What? You mean Wilds?
Wilds.
You have played Worlds.
I have played Worlds. I haven't played Monster Hunter Wilds yet, and I should have a while ago. Replying to Hannibal, says, a friend comes over and we celebrate his birthday playing pool, maybe some poker afterwards. That's not a bad evening. It's not a bad evening whatsoever. I've heard very good things that Wild is really good. What I'll probably end up doing, and it's something I did in Worlds, is I'll just walk around watching the monsters. Because I like watching creatures in their natural ecosystem just kind of like survive and thrive. Which, you might know this, Ben, or anyone else might know this. Is there a turtle... Well, okay. There is a turtle monster, but is there like a dedicated like water-style turtle in Monster Hunter? I know there's this like weird Kappa creature in Rise that's like part... like mixed with a Kappa, hippo, and other stuff like that. Nicholas says yes, there is. Blastoise. That's a good one, Hannibal. I like that. Okay. I haven't played much of the older games, so I'm sure there's some I'm missing out. One that I want to play or beat is Lagiacrus, and I think that's in Worlds? Or Wilds, not Worlds, Wilds.
Yeah, they just added it.
So that's one I want to play and beat. Because I really like the look of Lagiacrus, and I like the look of its armor. So it's definitely a monster that I want to hunt and fight. I think it'd be cool if I fought a abyssal Lagiacrus, the one with like the black scales that's mostly just water like form. Because I know there's a white form, there's the regular form which is blue, and then the abyssal is like black scales with the bright blue crystals. He's more based off like Godzilla, from like what I've seen with his colors, and that is one that I want to try fighting. But I don't think he's in, right? Yeah, he was the flagship monster for Monster Hunter 3, and that was kind of a hit or miss with people because you had to do the swimming sections. And some people liked it, some people didn't.
I think it was alright. It wasn't as bad as people said it was.
Yeah, I haven't really had the chance to play 3. Really, I got it for the Wii, tried it for a little bit, and then I stopped. And of course, I went with the Switch Axe, which is my main like play in Monster Hunter. Is I like using the Switch Axe.
I play Charge Blade.
You mostly do Charge Blade. You'll switch up between like other things though too.
Yeah.
I think.
Gotta keep it in.
Yeah, we've had a 4-person team, and we had a hammer guy. Honestly, in my heart, he's like, actually, no, yeah, he sits at number 1. Glavenus sits at number 2. I really like Glavenus. That was probably my favorite monster in Wilds, or World. They both start with a W.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
So Nicholas says that he mains the lance, which I haven't tried the lance before. If I don't do Switch Axe, I will do a sword and shield. And those are usually that's the ones that I will switch between. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do too much more of this dark blue. I'll switch to a lighter blue after this. Sorry, you were going to say something, Ben?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we started in Generations.
Yes.
That was the Monster Hunter game that really got me into it.
I tried Generations, and I kind of felt how I think one of our other friends felt when he first started with Wilds, is that it was so confusing I couldn't figure it out. And then, not Wilds, Worlds, I'll keep saying it.
Yeah.
When Worlds came out, that's when I really started to understand Monster Hunter. And it became... It just kind of clicked. So at some point I will have to play it. From there. I'm like hitting all the other spots. Are you talking about in Wilds you can just say no to monsters? Oh wait, no, yeah, with Lance you can just block it.
Yeah. They've got perfect guards in Wilds, so guarding's pretty effective.
Hmm. Screw went black. Oh shit, my phone died.
Oh well, stream's over.
I thought my phone was plugged in, but it died. So give me a moment. I'll go back through and get it set up. Thought it was charging, but it must have came loose. Bear with me. I have everything set up already. We'll make sure it's actually plugged in this time and go through with it. That should be back now. That is like the third time I've had that happen, and I apologize for that. I try every time to make sure it's not going to do that, but sometimes I slip up. Okay. I think I'm almost done with this blue. And then I'll move over to my other brighter blue. I hit this whole model with a contrast paint to begin with. No, I don't have a name for the Hive Fleet yet. I wanted to do a Hive Fleet Typhon. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, I'm like listening to my roommates in the background, and they need to shut the fuck up, in my opinion. But yeah, my sister and her. Yeah. No. I know you guys can, and I apologize about that. I wish I had a space that I didn't have to share with people, that I could do these streams, but because I live in a small house right now, people can hear it. To be fully honest, my personal opinion, my sister does not need to be dating this guy. I've told her this before. They are not officially dating, but yeah, I'll just mute myself for the time being. I think they're elsewhere. I don't know. It's just it's frustrating sometimes living with other people.
You
It's also kind
have
of
a fan on?
yeah. I do have a fan because it's warm in my room.
Oh,
So that's also
pretty
why.
bad, too. Oh, never mind. It's gone.
Damn, that's a lot of people to live with. Nicholas was saying he lives with his family of 6. So I think the sad
Yeah.
part is I'm kind of used to the fighting because I grew up in a household with my parents fighting and all that stuff, and it just made it. So I'm like used to it. It kind of also like ruined my opinion on relationships in general. I have very weird standards when it comes to relationships, and I don't. I mean, like, do I want to be in a relationship? Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to deal with the fucking hassle that I see everyone else deal with? So,
Yeah, I guess I'm the same way. My parents fought a lot, too.
yeah. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to reply to Hammer real quick. I lived with one of my friends for a little bit. I wish I lived with him longer. We didn't fight, but one thing I have a hard time doing is I don't like doing dishes. And I've been breaking that habit now. But when I was living with him, that was like the biggest complaint was doing the dishes. At least for me, doing them. But I also... Yeah. It's tough living with someone else. And I wish I could live on my own, but financially I can't yet. I don't make enough at my job to do that, and I don't make any money here to do that either. I do need to find a cup to clean off this brush. I don't think I have one. But I'm done doing the dark blue for now. I say for now, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a house right now because of my current situation. I found stuff within, like, kind of my price range, but yeah, it's not doable to get a house right now. Honestly, like, if I was to get a house, I would want to split it with, like, some people I actually trust. And that's very risky for some people to do. So,
You could always just rent out the rooms.
well, that's my plan. Like, if I buy a house, I would rent out certain spots. Like, if I went on vacation, I would put it up like a month or two before I went on vacation, and then like go from there. Well, that's good your parents were able to buy a house. My parents own their home. I think the sad part is the only way I'd be able to afford anything is waiting for them to pass. Although, if you start young enough and you save your money and you kind of like make some smart decisions, store it away, you can buy a house. I have two friends that have bought a house. So it's doable for anyone or from my age at least. Either you need to start early or you need to know how to play the game well enough. And I'm playing a little bit of catch up right now, but I'm not as bad as I could be. Warhammer is not a thing that's friendly to the wall, though, I will say. Yeah. I mean, you're telling me I easily have spent, I'm guesstimating like $4,000 on everything. It's a guesstimation. Yes. Yeah, we did talk about books. I did buy one of the books from our talks last stream, which I think was Dark Imperium, and I bought that book. I also bought the audiobook I bought The Infinite and Divine as well. So I'm going to be reading both those books at some point. Yeah. I do apologize. I kind of got a little bit like, I don't want to say sappy, but I got a little more like real there than we really needed to for stream. I'm going to grab a glass of water so I can clean off my brush. I'll be right back. Well, I'm back, and I snagged the dog, so he's now with me in my room. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this brush real quick.
Show it. Show the dog.
What? What? Hold on, what with the dog?
Show it on screen. Show
No.
the dog on screen.
I don't want to show the dog.
Come on.
He's fine
That's
sitting
it.
on the side. But he was sitting at my door, like, waiting, so I just kind of let him in. So. Damn, I'm sorry to hear about that. So, I'm reading what Hannibal says, and he tried to order a recommended book, and it wouldn't arrive until December. And then he tried to go to his local Game Workshop store, and they were closed yesterday and today. And he just wants to buy a book or two. So, I would always recommend either buying an audiobook or buying, like, the digital copy. I do audiobooks just for what I do with work. I'm able to put in a headphone and then listen to it as well. But I also understand wanting to own a physical book. It is nice having like your own library of physical books. Okay, we are going to add this blue. So now I'm moving over to Regal Blue. I might mix that in with the blue that I'm using currently. But I want to use Regal Blue as... I'm also going to be using the teals at some point. But I want the Regal Blue to be more of like a highlight-ish blue. The Codex books are good. That's not a bad book to own. Those also can be really expensive as well. Like for me, the Codex books are like $60 something like that. Fair enough. I like thinking I'm educated as well when it comes to books. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go through, because that's such a brighter blue against that tone. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna mix these two colors together. So actually, I'll do a drop of the Regal and a drop of the Deep Ocean together. There's nothing wrong with buying a physical book. Like I said, I like having physical books as well. When I get the chance to, I will sit down and read at a place. But I have to like go and dedicate my time to go read a book. We're gonna add another drop of that Regal Blue. And we'll go from there. That might be a much better combination color. Yeah. The dog has decided to leave. I would only recommend the Codex books if you're actually going to have a 40k army and all that. Like, the Codex books do give a little bit of lore on their armies and stuff like that, and they sometimes have short stories in them. But I wouldn't recommend buying the Codex books because they're $60. If you buy a regular 40k book, it's not that expensive. So the Codex books are not I buy that to be like to read. You buy that to play the game. Okay. I will admit I have no idea what I'm doing with this model. I'm just kind of going with whatever and see what works. I have like no idea. I'm just kind of winging it as I go. I was going for myself. I have a few like codex books, but I'm not gonna list them all off. It's not important. Other books that I want to read and all that stuff. Yes, I did watch that speech, Dorzo. I watched it after the stream. It was a good speech. Will you run? Will you run? That's all I'm going to say on it. I knew nothing of Sanguinius, and it was a good way of showing him. I'll stay. Well, you're welcome to stay or leave. It is fully up to you. It's good to see you here. You missed it earlier. I was trying to do a kit bash with my Space Wolf, or the Space Wolf box, into the Dark Angel Salamander stuff. I got one model made, and then I realized that GW kind of did something that I find really stupid with the box. They made it so that each piece, normally in a box, you're meant to like put them together and then build your models that way. But if you want to kit bash, it becomes more difficult because everything is unique and labeled. So I got frustrated and decided to say F it, and then came here and started painting this Tyranid instead. When I wanted tonight to be a kit bash night, it turned into a paint night. And I got magically visited by one of my friends. No worries. Glad you're here for the time being. Hopefully your shift goes well. Actually, that kind of blue effect turned out better than I thought. I want to see how long I can go with just using this one brush. You missed it, Dorzo. I don't know if you'd actually care or not, but I was talking about the anime convention that I went to this weekend, and I showed off all the stuff I got. And my time there for it. I didn't do too much. I enjoyed it, and will I go again next year? Yeah, but I really need to look at the itinerary and decide, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I don't... Would it be better with friends? Yes. But I don't know who of my friends I would bring. I have, like, one so far. What'd you say, Ben?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
What were you talking about? Bring from where?
Down to the anime convention that was at.
You should have brought me.
Next year, if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll be down. Sounds interesting.
We'd have to look at the panels and stuff. By the way, Hannibal, I didn't get this at the convention, the German Magic deck. I got this as a birthday gift. A friend of mine found it in a thrift store here where I live, and they bought it for me as a birthday gift. I'm going to have to look at what Evo is, because you piqued my interest on what that is. I'm going to just kind of fan that a little bit. I know I hit all this in that contrast. I might end up covering all the contrast. Oh, damn. Good for you. So, I don't know if you're reading chat at all, Ben, but I'll let you know. Evo is the biggest fighting game tournament of the year.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, well, I didn't know. And Dorzo in chat is going to it. Which that sounds like a fun time.
Are you gonna be competing in it, or
Oh, yeah.
Just observe.
That is a good question. Dorzo, are you going to be competing or are you just observing? Do I have a great pile of shame? Yes, I do have a great pile of shame. I have a very big great
it
pile of
almost
shame. What?
it almost reaches the ceiling?
It almost reaches the ceiling. Oh, so Dorzo is going to be competed. But he says he'll probably lose in pools.
That matters.
No, my pile of shame doesn't reach to the ceiling. But I do have a wardrobe, like cabinet thing, that holds all my Warhammer stuff. And that has my entire Warhammer collection in it. Damn. I am excited for you, Dorzo. I want to hear about it when you go. I want to check stuff like that out eventually in my life. I know there's no better time than now to go do it. But I'm also like putting up excuses as well. Yeah. Next year for myself, I'm planning on going to MagicCon. It's a big like Magic the Gathering convention. It was in Chicago last year and it was held in February. Some friends are going to be going again and I got invited. Okay, first off, Hannibal, we are not going to condone people drinking and gaming. That's how people get hurt and how people get in trouble. We're also not going to condone anyone being drugged at the convention either. But you are correct. I won't condone what Dorzo is going to do either, but I cannot stop him. For I am a little salamander just on a screen. I am just a little guy. Oh god, anything goes when it's playing for money. God damn.
Yeah, hire a hitman.
Hire a hitman! Oh my god, no. Just have like Agent 47, is that his name? Like just be behind, ready to strike. Bring a flare. That's a good one, Nicholas. I will give you credit for that. So, I'm going to let you know, Ben, as I've already told you once before, and I will say this for chat as well. We are able to do the blacksmithing stuff again.
Oh, yeah.
I got the space. I'm going to move everything over there Wednesday. And I will start work on my cosplay for myself on Wednesday. Sunday might be the day that I'm able to bring you over. Because I know Saturday I'm streaming, which is your only other free day. We could go Friday and do a late night Friday. Well, no, I can't do Friday because I'm going and doing a 4th of July thing. But, yeah, I'm kind of excited to start doing stuff again. Oh, I'll just replay that. I will have you help me build the power sword when it comes to the cosplay.
Nice. I'll be sure to get some batteries so we can make it light up.
You want to try making it light up?
I mean, honestly, they sell like adhesive LED strips.
They do that,
Put
but I
them
was
on.
gonna make this like a proper sword. But
Well, yeah.
we honestly,
Puts them on the side of it.
you know what? Yeah, we'll learn how to make it light up. What is cosplay? So
When you dress up as fictional characters.
yeah, that. It's a big thing in anime and all that, but I want to do because I read a bunch of Warhammer books based off of Eisenhorn, which is an Inquisitor in the Warhammer universe. I initially want to do a Commissar outfit, but I didn't like how the hats were. I'm going to catch up on chat in a moment. Don't you dare. Okay, so I'm going to do an Inquisitor. I have the base outfit to do an Inquisitor. Like, I have a long cowboy coat that I'm going to do. And as I was reading through the Eisenhorn books, he describes his outfits quite a bit. So I'm going to kind of just do whatever I want. I will do, like, a foam chest piece for, like, armor and stuff. When I go over there Wednesday, which I will record a video for this for people to see, I'm going to be building a Inquisitor's Rosette. Will be the first thing I make. And then I'm also going to make a power sword, or I'm going to forge myself a sword. I actually thought about making a hovering servo skull. Like buying one of those Halloween skulls and then putting a drone in it to let it fly around. I'm also going to make some purity seals as well, because I have the paper, I have rubber stamps, and I have a setup to do wax seals. I'm going to make my own wax seals and all that. So, going back, because I saw gasoline here, I'm going to catch up Hannibal here for a second. Okay, Dorzo said going to strap a fridge to your back. And then Hannibal said gasoline, sorry. I'm curious what you mean by gasoline, sorry. Also, I have to hear that name. I don't know what they are. You don't know what an Inquisitor is? Is that what you're asking? Because I can happily clarify. I have heard that name. I don't know what they are. Okay. Oh, how the like the sword gasoline.
Make
That's
a flaming sword. I'm not sure
do
if the
not.
convention would allow open flames like that.
I think he's talking about for the power sword, lighting up that way. That would definitely be an interesting way of doing it. It's not the first time I've made a device powered by gasoline. That's not an engine. I made a potato cannon powered by gasoline. That's what I'm trying to say. I have no idea how far it shot, but it was a fun thing to make. That's definitely a project I want to make again, but it's kind of for a dumb reason. I want to make another one so I can shoot smoke bombs out and I can film myself running through a field where smoke bombs are being like fired at. For a film like battle scene is what I'm thinking, but I don't know. There's better ways of doing it than just building a PVC potato cannon and launching an already dangerous explosive out it to do that. Okay. I'm kind of happy how this guy is turning out. He is going pretty well. I'm kind of like pre-edge highlighting, I'd say, with this model. It's not really getting edge highlighted. I'm just adding the lighter blue, and then I'll be doing another color on top of that. And that will be how we go about it. But the circle skill will be fun to do. Like, I want to learn how to do some tech stuff. I just feel like it's so far more advanced for me than what it probably is that I just psych myself out of it. I think making like a flying circle skull would be really fun. I've seen one video of a guy, he programmed an assistant that is a circle skull so it can actually do a couple things. What time is it? Okay. The model is coming together. I will admit, Ben, after we got the mini of the month from the Warhammer store, I kind of want to do an undead army. Oh, you don't know what an Inquisitor is? Okay. Sorry. You go ahead and answer first, Ben, before I answer him.
I was just saying, nice. An undead army would be pretty sweet.
It would be, but I don't like any of the commander models. There's one commander model I do like that's undead, and he rides a zombie dragon. And if he's like a warlord model, I'll use him, but other than that, I'm not a fan of all the other vampires and stuff. An Inquisitor's like a spy. Think of like James Bond. In a way, if you know who James Bond is, they're yeah, they are space detectives. They're off to like figure out. They're pretty much off to stop heresy in any sort of way or any sort of corruption. They're just meant to like stop it. And there's different branches too. There's like Order Xenos, which deals with aliens. So like they would deal with like Tyranids, Tau, Orc, and any other alien race. They deal with Eldar. There's, I think, Ordo Hereticus. I've not played Mass Effect. I've heard Mass Effect's good. Have you played Mass Effect at all, Ben, or no?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Honestly, the Inquisitors have so much power. Yeah, it is unrestricted power. Like, an Inquisitor can use aliens within their, like, retinue. Would they be considered a radical or a heretic? Yes, but depends on the circumstance. There's two lanes that Inquisitors go down. There's Puritan, and then there's radical. And it's just kind of like what you do and like where you align with things that makes you either a radical or a Puritan. Most Inquisitors start as a Puritan and become radical as they continue to do work for the Imperium.
You got any favorite Inquisitors?
For myself, Okay, so I was just reading what Hamel said. I have two Inquisitors that I like. Currently, I like Eisenhorn because I've been reading his books. I'm gonna finish the last one now because I bought it. But I also like Amberly Vale because she interacts with Caiaphas Cain. So those are the only two Inquisitors I have dealt with. I do have a model of an Inquisitor, and it's the God, people ship her with like Celestine, and I can't remember her name. But like she got freed from Trajan's duffel bag of stuff is what I'll say. Okay, I don't know if people can tell or not, but I'm adding that little bit of blue, and it just makes it pop enough. So, in reality, the Skaven would be the Imperial Guard, or humans in general, but I do want to see, like, a Skaven race. It's either humans or Tyranids that count as Skaven, but I think you could take some Age of Sigmar models and mix them with either Tau or Guard or any sort of model and make a pretty good, like, Skaven army for, like, 40k.
Yeah. I mean, the universe is so big in 40k, you could probably just homebrew a race that's Skaven.
Yeah. They'd either run like the orcs, or you could use them as a Tau army, probably. Actually, mix them with Tau models, but play them as orcs. That's probably how I do it.
I gotta get going now.
Okay. Best of luck. Hopefully work goes well.
Yeah. Alright, see you guys.
See ya. I was gonna paint this guy, so I'm gonna answer Nicholas's question from way earlier. I wanted to do a High Fleet Typhon army, but I kind of just started messing with this guy and making my own color scheme for Tyranids. I've seen this color scheme kind of before, but I'm kind of liking how it's turning out. It's a mixture between like a tree and like a lizard at the same time. Is how I'm thinking of the color scheme. I might have said this before on stream. I don't know how many people here remember this. I have seen people take the lion model, like I've seen this in person, and make it into a Tau army. They gave it like a shark head and made an entire like Tau army with Space Marine models and shark heads. Yeah, I'm sure this color scheme's not like an original color scheme. There might be like an official Hive fleet that has this color scheme. I don't know though. I'm kind of just happy making my bugs look like however I want them to look. Yeah, there have been people that have combined the Titans and like tiered them all together. So there's on Etsy, there is a Norn Queen model that I want to get. And I want to run that as my Biotitan. I'm gonna have to look up this Star Quest one-page rule thing. Because I think I'd be interested in trying it. Have I kind of like not fully been paying attention if I've been hitting the models or not in the right spot. Interesting. I'll have to look at that and see. Are you asking me or Durza what their favorite army is? Me? I thought I answered this once before. I'm going to... Your least favorite is Death Guard. Fair enough. They got some good models, but they are kind of gross. It's a tough question for me to say what my favorite is, because I ranked it before. I'm gonna say Space Marines, but I'm sure as I build more of my models, it will be different. Like, maybe the Tyranids will take it at some point if I have everything built. But, oh, my least favorite? Okay, I read that wrong, my bad. My least favorite. I'm gonna say it's my Lizardmen army. Just because I'm more of a 40k guy. But if you want 40k, it's gonna be Tyranids. Tyranids are like the least favorite army I have. Currently, they're my least favorite. It might be Guardsmen. Guardsmen's might be there too. Yeah, I also skip a lot of words too when I read things. I don't think I have dyslexia, but I've never been tested. Least favorite faction. It's either Tau or Eldar. I think I dislike Eldar more because I play against Eldar players when I play the tabletop, and I've not won against a single one, and I kind of dislike them for that. I think it's Eldar. Eldar is my least favorite. It's not that some of their models aren't good looking, I will say. I just have bad time playing against them on the tabletop. But I also could not be playing, because I don't really know how to play the tabletop that well, I might not be playing my armies as good as I could be. So, that's where that stands. Fair enough. I mean, it's 40k. Space race system is okay in 40k. I don't think anyone wants a hug from Nurgle. If you get a hug from Nurgle, you're not catching the flu, you're catching death. Oh yeah, the Wraithbone, like robots and stuff look cool. But the actual elves themselves, not so much, at least in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going up on Regal Blue after doing the mix and kind of just hitting in a more brighter spot. I should be doing what I normally do. You want a hug from Papa Nurgle, or do you want a hug from a mechanic robot? Or do you want the Tyranids to give you a hug? Okay, so you want Nurgle to give you a hug. I do have a question for chat. I guess it's kind of up to... Well, no, you probably already answered it. I was going to say, if you were stuck in a room with, like, any faction from Warhammer, what's the faction that you want to be actually stuck in? That's not a terrible way of looking at, like, the word Nurgle. Nurgle just wants you to stay as you are and rot away, but also not rot at the same time. He is anti-growth. And then Nicholas says the Tau. I was going to say minus, like, regular humans, because I think, like, just being in a room with a guardsman is just being stuck in a room with, like, a regular dude. The Tau would probably try to convert you to the greater good. I think I'm kind of unintentionally edge highlighting. Yeah, they are the least likely. Yeah, the Tau's the least likely to kill you. They rather you join their Jehovah Witness group. You know what's a race other people forget about? And I guess they're technically not a race, is the Votan. I probably want to be stuck in a room with the Votan. I know they don't like sharing their technology with people, but, like, they're the closest to, like, how life was before the dark age of technology. I'd like to experience that. Be like, okay, what could we do before? I mean, granted, it's not perfect. So the Votan are space dwarves, to be fully simplifying it. But for the long form, back when humans were conquering the galaxy before the Emperor and before the Age of Strife, so when, like, all the technology and stuff just, like, rebelled against us, humans sent out colony ships with really advanced computers to help them colonize. Well, some of those ships went into the center of the galaxy, and the computers kind of programmed and figured out what was the best body shape the human could take to survive the center of the galaxy, which is full of, like, black holes, living stars, giant gaseous planets, and they decided that the dwarven body shape would be the best, something that's stocky built, really strong bones, really tough muscles, is, like, the best shape to survive the center of the galaxy. and they were gone for a bit because people thought, or in the lore, they got eaten by the Tyranids, but it was just like one group of Votann. But with that interaction, what the Votann decided to do was throw their dead into their main computer, so that all the knowledge that that person collected was put back into the system, and so that the computer could take that person's DNA and then re-scramble it together and then make a whole new person. Or to make a whole new dwarf. Yeah. They're the closest to how humans were before the Age of Strife. They're not exact, but they're as close. Like, if you know uploading, yeah, pretty much. So, dwarves don't have kids, at least in the 40k universe. They're all clones of, like, the original people that were on those ships. And their main thing is, like, the ancestors are watching. And that's kind of a threat, and to be fully true, because everyone is a combination of the ancestors. So, it's kind of a big deal if you mess up. Like, hey, we're all watching, because they do hold grudges. This Tyranid is turning out pretty damn good. I'm liking how this is looking. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I'm going to pull it over. I went from this very dark blue to mixing this light blue or bright blue in together, and then going in, hitting that, and then I'm taking that lighting blue. Yes, the Votann do have a 40k army. They have a kill team as well, which is more their exploratory group. The 40k army, I think, is mostly like their mining vehicles and a couple other models here and there. I don't know if I'll ever get Votann models. At least not for myself. I have a friend that likes the dwarves in fantasy, and I told him about the Votann, and I thought it'd be an army he would go with. But he's currently using Space Marines, but he's also interested in Necrons as well. Oh, the Votann do wake up the... Are they the guys that look like they're in a big bubble? Big bubble car? Yes. Yes, they are. They are in a big bubble car. Their helmets too are like the actual astronaut helmets like that we have, like the big bubble shaped ones. And as I was saying earlier, they do wake up the Necrons quite a bit because they kind of dig around for stuff and then they stumble upon a Necron tomb. Yeah, they're pretty much deep. Yeah, Deep Rock Galactic is another good way of like describing them. They're very blue collar worker. Not like office blue collar, but like, you know, the miners, the people that do the hard manual labor. That's kind of their shtick. They're kind of like, because I work in like a landscape construction company. They're more like what I would be like in the 40k universe. They're that everyday man's man. Like, I clock into work, I work in the factory, I work in the mines, and I go home and I then have a cold one with the boys. Okay. I'm going to turn off one light and just kind of... Yeah. I think I unintentionally, at the same time, I hit... Yes, the Votan do mess around with the AI Jack. I'm responding to Jack. I'm not calling AI Jack. The other big thing with the Votan is that their giant AI computers are reaching rampancy. They have too much information in them, so it takes them forever to tell people information. I think the last part I need to hit with the blue is these little tendrils. I realize I missed a lot on this model, but I am going back through and I'm touching things up here and there. I hope everyone's having a good night so far. It could sound like dial-up. Who knows if it does or not. But I'm gonna finish my first sentence. I hope everyone's having a good night. I've been having a good night so far, sitting here chatting with everybody and painting this guy up. I'm happy with the progress I've made with this guy. Oops. Okay. I'm going to stop with the blues for now, and I'm actually going to move over to brown. I'm going to do all the brown armor and claws. And the browns I'm using, it is a very bright brown that I have here, so this is going to be such a big contrast. I'm using oak brown and burgundy brown. This oak is a more red brown, and this is a very deep brown. If I have to, I have leather brown as well. But good night, Hannibal. Enjoy Minecraft. I might do that at some point later tonight as well. Let's hop on Minecraft and build a little bit. I'm gonna take some water real quick. Make sure you guys are drinking water, staying hydrated. Oh, well, I assume if you're playing Minecraft, you're going to go off and do that, but... I'm going to hit this with... So yeah, now I'm using the burgundy brown, and I want that to be my more darker color. I will eventually line it up with a different color. I'll probably leave some parts, the contrast, a little bit. My best kit bash I've done. I've not done a lot of kit bashing, but I'll grab my most recent one that I've done. I mean, besides this guy, but I'm gonna grab the other Space Wolf stuff. So a couple streams ago, when I was doing the first Kit Bash corner, I was going to do one tonight, but I said change it. These models here, these are the Space Wolf, I consider them the Space Wolf like Blade Guard variant, but I went through, I didn't do much kit bashing, but I added a little bit of different details. I went through and made these guys. I think I'm going to throw them in my, I think I put these guys, I'm going to put them in my Dark Angel army is what I'm going to say. And I consider them more of like the Demon Hunter group, like Headhunters. So I had some extra Demon Skulls, or I had the Demon Skull kit, and then I went through and just kind of did that. It's not as good of a kit bash as I hoped. I tried to do a kit bash with a Chaplain and a Justiciar, but it was just like magneted stuff. I put 3 warriors on a gaunt. You put 3 warrior arms on a gaunt? Okay. That must be a really, like, heavily powered gaunt right there. Like, he's got some serious firepower for just a little guy. But, no, I haven't done much kit bashing just because I haven't taken the time to really do it. I want to do more kit bashing. I just gotta find like the right models to do it together. Okay, that's not a bad combo. The bone sword scythe and the gun. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting kit bash. Kit bashing, or making like your own Space Wolf Justiciar. I have the Space Wolf Chaplain, and I want to modify it to look more like a Salamander's one. So I want to keep like the wolf skull and other bits together, but I like want to take some like horns and make the wolf skull look like a dragon skull instead, and add a bit of flames here and there coming off it. Because that's what I was doing earlier. I was taking the Space Wolf box, because I bought that big box with all the other minis in it, and was trying to kit bash them or convert them into either my Dark Angels army or my Salamander's army, depending on how it went. I started that to begin with. I got one model in, which was this guy. And then I started putting together this guy, and I couldn't find his leg, and I got frustrated. So I changed the stream and just started doing a paint stream instead. So Nicholas, are you saying you don't know what gun you want to throw on the model, or you don't know what the gun is? think this burgundy brown might work out better than I thought. Especially for what I have planned. Ooh, the Devastator gun. Nice. I'm trying to go through right now. And I'm kind of thinking like where the scales are kind of matched together. I'm doing the darker burgundy brown, and then I want to take the more red one and put it on the edge where it's still kind of light, so I'm like gonna like mix it in a little bit. And then I will take an even lighter brown. Maybe I'll even mix some like contrast paint. I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips of it, and I want to watch it. It honestly, it's like one of the best piece of media to show what Space Marines are like. They are walking tanks, and they have my favorite model being the Blade Guard Vets as like one of the main Space Marines. Besides Titus, which I do have a Titus model at some point I need to paint. But yeah. The episode is really good, and I do know that. I don't have whatever platform it's playing on. Like I'm not paying that subscription. That's why I haven't seen it. But I've seen it enough on YouTube to kind of get the gist of it. Yeah, he does just run through a car. That's my favorite thing to see. I like how Titus takes out the, I think it's the Chaos Sorcerer or Warp Spawn or whatever he is. Yeah, that's true. They did drag a coffin. I didn't know there was a dude in it. If for anyone that's played Space Marines 2, I think canonically, after you beat Space Marine 2, it then jumps to the secret level mission because that's like right after the game. And in Space Marine 2, it's stated that it's not supposed to be a mission that he survives. But because Titus is such a badass, he survives the mission. And I will say the chaplain rank doesn't suck. The character that is a chaplain sucks in the game. I never played the first Space Marine game, but yeah, he honestly needs to calm his tits, is what I'll say. Yeah, I just played Space Marine 2. I haven't been Space Marine 2 yet. At some point I will. Whenever I get bored of painting and stuff, I'll do another, like, gaming stream for, like, Space Marine 2 or another Warhammer game, just to keep with, like, the Warhammer stuff that I do. With Space Marine 2, is it good? It is good. I recommend it. You don't have to know Warhammer lore to enjoy the game, but it's another good way of like getting yourself into Warhammer. You play as a Space Marine, and it makes you feel like a Space Marine. There's two game modes. There's the story mode, which is fun. And then there's one where you can play as your own customized class. I think there's like 6 classes or 5 classes within the game, which that'd be fun to make a kill team with. I might do a video doing that. And yeah, you do like all the little side missions that like the other characters do in the story. Like you're playing as that team doing that mission. I played the Biotine one. It was fun, but I'm not really sure. It wasn't my favorite mission. My favorite mission is killing the Hive Tyrant, because I play Assault, and I use the hammer when I play Assault. So it's fun to go up in the air and slam down on it. The Biotine is a cool model and a cool creature in general. I'm a little bit iffy on the model, to be fully honest, just because how I like my creatures to look. Ooh, when I first started, I want to get good at Bulwark because it's based off the Blade Guard Vet, but I couldn't get too good with it. And now I'm just so used to jumping in the air and slamming people down with a hammer. Ooh. Yeah, that Burgundy's kind of working out better than I hoped. Adding that extra shadow in. We're going to have to touch up. Oh yeah, I like Melee too. When I play a game in Melee, I just swing and start hitting guys. I am glad we have a Space Wolf enjoyer in chat. I was rewatching some of Izander and Coda's videos, and I was watching the Thousand Sun video again about the battle for like Properos? I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, but the Thousand Suns homeworld. I was rewatching that video, and yeah. I think if you were to play a game as a Tyranid, they'd have to make it like a... Prospero. Prospero is what I was trying to say. But if they were to do a Tyranid game, they'd almost have to do it like a game of Civ or any sort of war simulator game, where you have to take control of each unit directly and tell them what to do. Like, you are playing as the hive mind. That's how I think the game should kind of be if you're doing Tyranids. But if you want to play as like a Tyranid bioform attacking people, they could do something like Evolve, if anyone remembers that game, where you played as a creature and then you had like one person that was an alien creature and all the other players were trying to hunt you down and kill you. That's how I would think the Tyranid game would play as. But yeah. I mean, GW likes their Space Marines. They like making money, so they'll keep doing things off Space Marines and stuff. I never played Evolved, but I thought it was an interesting concept. Don't know if it'd be something I'd ever pick up or try. I do know they came out with games based off like Alien and all that. And I know you had to hide from like I'm trying to remember the word androids and stuff. I don't know about the one Jake is talking about. I didn't play too many games when I was a kid, or I wasn't really into too many different games. Like Alien games, like Alien and stuff like that, where it's more horror, I stayed away from. That would be interesting. Where you play as a lictor. I think that would kind of be similar to. Oh God. Yeah, I didn't have an Xbox 360. I got into Xbox when the Xbox One came out, and that's when I was in high school. I don't know if anyone played this game, but the one I played the most on Xbox One, besides Fallout 4, is I really wanted to get good at a game called For Honor. Like, to the point that I wanted to be a professional player for it, but I just didn't continue that. But Nicholas, you got some good ideas. I think it'd be interesting to see something like that made as a game, where you just kind of play as the more horror aspect character. Yeah, I liked the mechanics for Honor. I thought it was a very interesting way of like defending and attacking. You had to like predict what your opponent would do and stuff like that. I played mostly the capture point one. I never did like the dueling one because I was always bad at dueling. But I built my character to be just for taking points. Yeah, oh God, I'm thinking of other games that like. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other like games that are similar to like what Nicholas is talking about. Dead by Daylight, is that the zombie game? I'm thinking of one where they have different like horror movie villains, and you're a survivor and you're trying to escape. That would be if they did a crossover with 40K, and had like a lictor or some Tyranid creature be like something that you could attack, or not attack but play as. I think that would be interesting. I think that'd be very interesting to play as. Okay, good. I'm glad I said. You know what I was confusing with? I was confusing with Dying Light. Dying Light is that parkour zombie game. But yeah, Dead by Daylight, where you play as like a lictor. That would be interesting and fun to see. An idea crossed my mind because we're talking about horror and Tyranids, and I'm painting a Norn emissary right now. What if they had a horror game where you had to survive being chased by a Norn emissary? And it would learn and watch from you as you played the game. It would set up traps and stuff like that. What I'm pulling from in my head is the book Leviathan, where one of the characters in the book is actually being chased by a Norn emissary here. And I didn't realize it till after, like, they kind of gave it a name. I'm like, oh, that's what they've been fighting? It's scary. At least in my mind, like that'd be terrifying to deal with. I kind of want to fade from brown to like a metallic sheen on the edge of the claw blade. I was thinking of Alien Isolation earlier. Yeah, Alien Isolation with the Norn Emissary. Although I just did a narrative game based on that book. Wait a minute, when you said narrative game, like, are you talking about the, like, Warhammer tabletop game? Or did you, like, convert D&D into a Warhammer game? But yeah, having a 30-foot tall bug chasing you would be terrifying. Okay, this is not the size brush to be doing this fine detail stuff I'm doing, but I want to keep using the same brush for as long as possible. So I don't spend so much time cleaning all my brushes. Yeah, being chased by a Norn Emissary. I'm trying to think of some other ones besides like the Lictor or Death Leapers that would be terrifying. All Tyranids would be terrifying to be chased by. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I mean, I know there's the Norn Assimilator, which that's a model I want to get and paint and stuff. A Hive Tyrant would also be terrifying. But I think less a Hive Tyrant and more the Swarm Lord. Oh, so you did a 40K game based off that. I thought you were talking about the RPG. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm stealing that idea for when I play with my friends. Because we're going to try doing like Kill Team. Or we're going to start off with Kill Team. And that would be a fun narrative like, ooh, you guys have an objective. You got to save this character. I am stealing that. Now going to what Nicholas said. Do you think there's a mod for Alien Isolation, but the Alien... Yes, I think it's out there. If not, someone needs to start working on it now. Well, I'm glad I have your permission. I was going to steal it either way. That's a good idea. I completely forget, because I read so many books, that's actually like a good idea. I think that's a good idea to do like narrative games that way. Because I mean, they have Crusade and they have the missions for that, but if you kind of like make your own missions too, that becomes more fun. Yeah, I'm gonna steal that idea. Thank you. Yeah, this has been like a 2-stream project. There's probably gonna be more. I initially started... If you jump to the beginning of this stream, I start with my Kit Bash corner day, and I was trying to build more of the Space Wolf models that I bought the Space Wolf box, and I wanted to Kit Bash the models into my Dark Angel and Salamander army, split up that way. I got one model into the second like bout of it, and then after that I got another model, and I couldn't find his fucking leg. Sorry for my language, but I got frustrated, and I put the Norn Emissary to the side, and I just decided, you know what, I'm painting again today, and that's what I'm doing. So now we're here. Oh, yes, you were! You were that! Okay. Oh, you're also painting a Norn Emissary right now? Nice. But yeah, thank you for that suggestion because I'm actually doing that. I am making... I went through and kind of split my army into Salamander and Dark Angel faction. So I decided that my Salamanders, because they're... Ooh, Tiamat's a good scheme. So I decided, because my Salamanders are, you know, they got flamethrowers, and they like dealing with fire and stuff, they're going to be more my aggressive distraction crew. And if I want a more, like, hit and run, going to be sneaky group, I'm going with my Dark Angels. But I'll combine the models if I have to. I did want to make, so I'm going to talk about my high tier, my tierness for a moment. I wanted to do High Fleet Typhon because of the new Kill Team box that came out. But I kind of painted this guy a while ago with contrast paint, and I had him brown, so I just kind of continued his scheme, and this is what we came up with. We got a blue and brown Tyranid. Yeah, I was just kind of basing like your idea off of what I had. I think lore-wise, I gotta sit and think on it. Like story-wise, you know why? I had a person in here earlier who like gave me their entire backstory for their custom Chaos Marines, and I want to do something similar. I just want to find like a good, like, you know, to me, like what would be a good reason. Ooh, Behemoth is a good color scheme as well. I like that black and red scheme as well. I might make this a custom High Fleet, but they do attack anything. They'll attack other Tyranids, they'll attack Necrons. I mean, like Tyranids in general, but... I'm going to have these guys all set up, like all my models are going to be set up so they all fight on the same planet. I figured you were talking about your army, not just your Norn Emissary, but... Okay, my original idea for my Space Marine lore was made due to my Noi, N-O-Y, being able to decide the character I wanted. So I was going to play a type of blood, Raven... I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Or the next word from Mechanicus. And they would steal anything they needed, allowing for the use of many things. Inability on who to use, LOL. Yeah. Oh, excommunicado. Okay. I appreciate that, like you typing it out for me. I don't see a lot of these words kind of like put out in writing, and I don't dare attempt at all to like sound it out and say something wrong, but I probably should. This brush, I think, is going to need to take a break. And we'll have to use a different one. This monster brush is being used for more detailed work than I think it was intended for. So my stream schedule, which I should post this on YouTube for everyone. My stream schedules are 6 to 10 Tuesday and Saturday. I might do a third day depending on how it is or how my schedule is, but Tuesdays and Saturdays from 6 to 10. Unless I say something in stream or I make a post. And that is Eastern time in the US. Yes, East. Yeah, but I'm taking a bit of advice that I got from Pirate Software. That if you're going to do streaming, at least stream 3 days a week for 4 hours. And these... Yeah, I understand time zone's kind of difficult. I do want to do like an early one. I'm thinking Saturday maybe of doing an early day stream, like when I wake up at 7 in the morning, hopping on, doing some work, and then finishing up around like 10 to 11, and then going off and doing my day. Gotta wet this brush down. So that's kind of where I stand with that. But yeah, I'm trying to take some advice of like, you know, I want to build an audience, and I got to look at this as like a TV program. And people are tuning in at a certain time, and they need to know when you're on. So I'm doing that as my time. I get off of work at 5, so I have about an hour to cook something up, get stream set up, and then pop in here to get things going. I'm slowly trying to improve stream every time. At some point I will put videos out again. I'm working on my Kill Team one that I have a while ago. Or like when I did my custom Kill Team, I'm working on the video for that. For the art competition, I gotta do a video for that one. And plus all the cosplay stuff as well. So, yeah. I think at some point I will also stream to Twitch as well. Probably Saturday I'll do like a Twitch stream and a YouTube stream. So I'll be on both. I'll try to keep up with both. But, yeah. I also want to say I try to improve stream every time, but if there are things that you guys want to see like improved or done differently, let me know, because I always want to do better each time. I would say compared to my first stream, this is a much better stream than that very first one. I like to think talking to a bunch of randos on the internet has helped me. I consider myself an introvert, and talking to random people on the internet has helped with my confidence and my speech. So, we're just kind of going through and keeping it going. I'm kind of just, I was trying to be a little more careful earlier, but I'm going with a very destroyed brush. All my good brushes I just cleaned before stream, and they are drying. I could do a different camera angle, or I could certainly try. It's just a tripod setup on. Good night, Hannibal. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I can definitely try a different camera angle. this is just like the best for me to work and still give like a good view from above. I do want to upgrade the camera quality at some point, so it's not just my phone anymore, and I actually get a proper camera for this. I mean, I could put an angle here or over here and like have the camera face that way, but I'd have to get a whole new like tripod or something. Music. Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible for where I'm at. I know I want to be better and improve upon everything. I think in the future what would be nice is to have an above camera and then one more like here so that you guys could actually see. And I want to do not just like build streams, like of paint streams and build streams, but I want to like, if I get things set up in the workshop, I want to do like some workshop videos where you guys see me actually like building and like making some of the other stuff I've talked about. And that being like, oh, you guys can see me work on the Inquisitor cosplay. You guys can see me work on maybe like I build a power hammer or something else like that. Yeah, I understand when the models sit up like this, you can't see anything. I gotta keep in mind that I gotta turn it so you guys can see all this other side stuff that is going on. I'm also realizing I pull it so close to me. Like, for me to paint, this is as close as it is. I gotta, like, push it out a little bit so you guys can see. I haven't said this yet, stream, but I also have a Instagram. Yeah, so that's just from you guys seeing it this way. That's how it. That's what I was working on with the blue earlier. No, I did not see Warhammer. What? Okay, hold on. I did not see the Warhammer Heroes thing for Dark Angels. I am going to their website now, and I will be taking a look. Okay, hold on. What? Hold on. Okay, I'm pulling this up, and I'm going to pull chat up along with me here. I just got to Warhammer Community, so I'm looking at it now. Wait a minute. They're coming out... Oh, they're coming out with a kill team for Dark Angels? Oh, shit. You want to hear a secret? There's a bunch of new Space Marine models coming to Warhammer Heroes, but these ones are a little more mysterious than Ultramarines. The latest Blind Buy miniature collection featuring Strike Force, Valorant from Dark Angel chapter, and every box contains one of 7 different warriors, each one of their own equipment specialization for kill team rules. Ooh! These miniatures are a great introduction onto the Warhammer hobby, and you can assemble them without glue and tools. How do I get them? Oh, they got in... Yes! Okay, what I'm most excited about that I just saw from this is yeah, I did read that they're like push fit, which I'm like a little bit but what I'm most excited about that I just saw is they have an Furnace Marine, and if these can be run as a kill team, then that would give me the chance to then make a Salamander, a custom Salamander one. Oh, the black one's likely a Reaver Lieutenant. Yeah. Probably. But I'm excited about the Infernus one because I was curious on how you would make an Infernus Marine for a kill team, and that kind of answers my question for that. Hold on, I'm gonna like do a little more painting. And now, what are the other models? We have that's an Assault Marine. Then you have some Reavers. You have a normal Intercessor. That's a Reaver with a jetpack. If they're going to do Reavers with a jetpack, could I then do a custom... Ooh. Each box will contain a kill team data card for the miniature with the operative status, weapons, and strategy ploy in English, German, and Japanese. Collect all of them, and you have a simple learn-to streamline kill team designed as the perfect way to get a taste of the game and able to take to kill zone against other teams. Every display unit will have 8 blind boxes, but there's no guarantee that you will get all 7 miniatures if you buy the full dispenser of 8 boxes. They will be available to buy from selected retailers later this year. They'll come in green plastic. You'll be welcome to paint whatever color you like. Okay, so I got to keep that in mind for myself. Sorry, I got excited. Yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect kill team, or it's not like anything great. I'm not a big fan of like Reavers and a lot of characters in Phobos armor. I don't know if you were here for it, Aatrox, but I did make my own custom kill team for Space Marines. I'm assuming you were here for it, but if not, I'll just quickly summarize it. My custom kill team was mostly based off the company heroes. So I got rid of the Ancient and I used the Captain, the Heavy Intercessor from there, the Intercessor Marine, Blade Champion. So that was that 4. I then added in a Blade Guard Veteran and a Inner Circle Companion. I can put it in Discord at some point. Did I not have it in Discord yet? Oh yeah, for anyone that is watching, I do have a Discord for people to join. I don't push it enough to say. I want people to join whenever. I'll take a picture of it tonight and put it in the Discord. I figured if you mention the Discord, you're someone in there. But yeah, I wanted to make the Discord to be a place for like people to come and share their interest with the hobby or other build craft stuff. I wanted to be a fun hangout place. But yeah, I'll post it tonight because I gotta post those guys on Instagram too. It's been far too long. I gotta make a few posts. I gotta post my progress on this guy on Instagram. I gotta post my kill team. And also post like my other custom stuff I've done. But yeah, it's completely free to join the Discord. I don't want to hide it from anybody. I want it to be open. And I want it to be fun and just everyone be good to each other. I have to add more burgundy. It's kind of running out. What are we getting? We're almost at 10. I'll go for a few more minutes. Okay. I'm not tired. I don't feel tired, which is probably a bad thing because I would go on for a lot longer and then be exhausted the next day. I almost think this should be a point that I stop at. Ooh, okay, I'm going to take a quick look at it. First, welcome. Send that in there, and then Warhammer Minis. The arms are so big on that gaunt! Oh my god. I mean, for Behemoth, where they make, like... Isn't Behemoth the one where they try to make, like, the largest Tyranids possible for, like, what they're doing? Well, I mean, no, but what I was thinking is, like, maybe just for that battle, that bioform is what has to be made. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it looks good or not, although me saying that I'm kind of a perfectionist. As long as you like it and you're going to have fun with it, that's what matters. Okay. He's called the Grunt Prime. I love that. I love him. He is Grunt Prime. I mean, it's fair to be nervous about any model you do. Okay. I think we're going to call it here, but I'm going to do a quick little look around. I'm going to hold it like this for you guys to see. I don't know if you guys can really tell. You can tell the blue. And what I've done this whole time is I've taken in this and I've taken the burgundy brown and I tried to get in where the bits of armor match together. I'm going to do that darker. And then I'm going to take this oak brown at some point and I'm going to hit these ends with it, kind of blend it. I'm a little bit sad because I like this light brown, so I'm going to try leaving some when I can. But I also think eventually what I'm going to try doing, I'm going to throw this out there. I want to take either plate metal or cobalt metal, and I want to put it just along the blade edge to show that it's like it's sharp. But it has been a pain to paint. I'm happy with the details so far. All that's white, and I'm going to do this for the ice too. I'm going to do the white and stuff in green, so I'm going to use wild green as the base, and then emerald forest as the highlight part. I think if I do another one of these models, because I want to do the Norm Assimilator, I'm going to build it as sub-assembly. Because what annoys me right now, I can see it, I don't know if you guys can, in or around where its head is completely white. You can't see it, but it annoys me that it's there. Behind the back here, it's white. So there's little parts where I'm like, I just want to tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to do sub-assembly in the future. But yeah, I'm happy with this guy's base. I think this is like the first custom base I ever really did. At least big one I did. This is kind of like my first start into doing diorama bases. So yeah. Oh, you're doing a commission one? Damn. I thought about opening myself up for commissions here. I don't know what I'd charge it at, and I don't know the time frame that I could give people, but I'm very happy with it. I will say with this model, I haven't even edge highlighted. I consider all the blue I did just the other colors. I want to edge highlight in either this turquoise, or I want to edge highlight in this one. I might do this one, but I will mix it before I do that. Yeah, that's probably what I would do, is I would do like commission and do it on stream. And I did make a Ko-fi, like Ko-fi is a website that you can open yourself up to like tips and permit stuff like that for. I did that a while ago thinking I would do commission stuff for it. Maybe I'll link it eventually, but I don't know. I don't want to force YouTube to like do money stuff. That's a whole other personal topic thing that I don't know how I feel about. But anyway, yeah, there was a streamer that I was watching for a bit, who they did all their commission stuff on stream and all that. They charge like $100 a model. That's a 32mm base. But they do spend like quite a few, like they spend a good amount of time doing that. Like they put a lot of work into it. I would say depending on the model, like if I was to do this, for me, this is like $100, like what I'm doing here. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. 5 an hour. I would say like 100 for this, for just the amount of time and like material I put into it. But anything smaller, I would almost do like a 10 to like $20 thing. But if it's really small, it's different. Again, that's for me in the future to decide. I'm not saying I'm doing that. Not saying anything on it. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed stream. If you want to like and subscribe, it is fully appreciated, but no pressure. Now, I want you to go out there and make something awesome. I know you will.